তো হ্যালো বন্ধুরা, ইউটিউবে এসে গেল নতুন বিগ আপডেট। তো সেই আপডেটের বিষয়ে জানতে হলে এই ভিডিওটা দেখবেন। ইউটিউবের অ্যালগরিথমের জন্য নতুন একটা আপডেট চলে এসেছে, যা আপনারা নিজেরাই দেখে নিন।
I'm Rene. I am the YouTube Creator Liaison.
And I'm Todd. I lead the product team for growth and discovery at YouTube.
So, how does the recommendation system actually work?
So the first thing that creators should understand is that the recommendation systems are really centered around each individual viewer. So oftentimes creators will say, hey, the recommendation system is pushing out my video to people.
Or why isn't it pushing out my video to
Yes,
people?
they may ask that. And the way it works is it isn't so much about pushing it out as much as it's pulling for each viewer. So when you open the homepage, YouTube is going to say, hey, Renee's here. We need to give Renee the best content that is going to make Renee happy today. It's very much centered around each individual person and ranking the videos for them, as opposed to looking at each individual video and trying to figure out who might like it.
So there could be videos, like a video could have these absolute metrics like its click-through rate, its view duration, all of that, but you might like it and I might not, and you would consider that when you recommend it.
Yeah, so a lot of creators, they look at their analytics and they're very focused on their aggregate performance because that's the easiest thing that we can kind of present. But the way the system's working is actually, it's not just using that average view duration or that average click-through rate, it's using the performance data as input, but ultimately trying to understand and predict for each viewer. It's kind of similar to how recommendations work outside of recommendation systems. When you want to figure out a movie to watch, one thing that I do is I talk to my friends and I say, hey, what have you seen lately? What do you want to see? And the recommendation system, sometimes we describe it as automating word of mouth.
I love that.
And by that we mean the system is able to understand what other viewers like you have watched, and then based on understanding what they enjoyed and what they didn't, it can help when it's time to give recommendations to you to pull in sort of like those recommendations from other people. The nice thing about it is that can come in multiple ways.
Yeah.
So maybe like right now there's a video that reaches a certain audience, but then like in 6 months there's something else that's related that pops up that makes this video relevant again. Fortunately, you know, our system is enabled to be able to recommend that again if it's relevant and maybe to a different audience than enjoyed it the first time.
You've given me examples of that in the past where somebody will search for like a certain kind of video and find one, and you'll be able to identify more audience, or something will pop up in the news and suddenly